Alright, welcome back, and it's now time to go to ECW. Now, ECW will, unfortunately, from my predictions, will not do that good in the draft. Now, I've only got them getting 4 wrestlers, and you've heard who they are. Now, ECW, that's a very interesting situation, because on that roster, there's a lot of guys that are injured right now. So, I have... how many did I have going? 6 wrestlers. I had 6 wrestlers going from ECW. Now I'm going to start with Raw. I'm going to have Colin Delaney, Mike Knox, and Theodore Long go from ECW to Raw. Now I'll give you, again, my reasons. Colin Delaney, I'll give you that one first. I love the Colin Delaney character. You know, this is one of the best characters that WWE put on TV all year. This is a guy who just gets the holy crap beat out of him. Week in, week out, comes back for more. He's like the underdog that you can root for. And Colin Delaney's already wrestled, I think, the entire roster on ECW. He can go to Raw now, you know, where you have people like JBL, like Paul Burchill, Snitsky, you know, all those guys, and he could be perfect. He could sort of be like a lackey. He could be, you know, the crash test dummy for Raw, but he'd be able to find a way to win. Now, another thing is, you could actually put Colin Delaney in a tag team, and I'm looking at the roster here, and from Raw, and if you put him with a guy, excuse me, like maybe say Jeff Hardy, that would be a very interesting tag team. I'm not saying that's the best tag team in the world, but I think it would be a very interesting combination there. Now, Mike Knox going to Raw. Mike Knox has to be one of the most improved wrestlers of 2008 in the world of professional wrestling, and I think him going to Raw would be very good. And now, and I just talked about tag teams. You can put Mike Knox and Snitsky together as your dominating big guy tag team. You could have yourself tag team champions right then and there with Mike Knox and Snitsky. Now, I'm not saying that these two guys are the greatest wrestlers to ever walk the face of the earth, but just think about it. You know, how many tag teams have you ever seen where there are 2 big, scary-looking guys that can go to Raw and dominate the tag team division? Mike Knox and Snitsky, if you put those 2 together, could end up being that faction. And then the last one, Theodore Long, once again, going back to the rule, everybody's available, nobody's safe. Theodore Long right now is the GM of ECW. You move him to Raw, he could end up being the general manager of Raw, and Long is very good on the mic. And, you know, and Raw really needs a general manager that's a face. They've had a heel general manager for so long. Now's the time to have the babyface GM on that show. Theodore Long is your guy. Now, the 3 wrestlers that are going to go from ECW to SmackDown: CM Punk, Layla, and Shelton Benjamin. CM Punk, that's another one I think that is bound to happen eventually. And he's got that Money in the Case briefcase. Money in the Case briefcase. Very good. Anyway, and the whole thing teasing with Edge that he's going to use the contract on him at certain points in time. It would be perfect. It would only be perfect if CM Punk moved to SmackDown. You could have that chase for Edge and the heavyweight title. And who knows, maybe you can have CM Punk finally use that briefcase against Edge at the Survivor Series for the world title, if Edge is still champion by then. Layla going to SmackDown, once again, it's another example of SmackDown needing women in the Divas division for their Divas title. Layla is the perfect fit for the Diva division. She personifies the word diva, and she does a very good job at it. her and Kelly have had that war for so long, you know, I think it's time to put it at an end. You've got two other women. Layla, as much as she's beautiful, should move to SmackDown, be a part of that women's division where they need a lot of women. And finally, Shelton Benjamin, who was just absolutely not used at all on ECW and really neither on Raw lately. You put him on SmackDown, instant contender for the U.S. title and maybe a dark horse for the World Heavyweight title. I'm not saying he's going to be the World Heavyweight Champion, but I think Shelton Benjamin is the kind of guy who, like if, say, Batista or Undertaker win the world title and you need somebody to be their first or second title defense on pay-per-view, Shelton Benjamin is that guy that can job to them and can take the fall and be one of those company guys that, you know, does what's supposed to do, and then eventually someday he'll be the World Heavyweight Champ, but right now is not the time. So on that note, that is my look at the WWE Draft for 2008, what I think is going to happen. I'm sure I'm wrong, and I'm sure that I've missed by a mile, but it really doesn't matter. I hope you enjoyed this, you know, what I picked and my thoughts and why. And don't forget that the draft is this Monday night on Raw. It starts an hour early at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you missed the first hour, you've only got yourself to blame. I told you it comes on Monday at 8. So until then, I'll see you guys next week. So long from the Old Line State.